and welcome to qualifying for the Hoosier Formula Cup. And we are heading out to a very, very warm Portimão today. The temperatures are soaring here at the Algarve, and we are luckily tucked away in a commentary box for now, but the heat on the track will be incredibly high today for this 15-minute session. Green flag is out. As you can see, cars are now heading out of the pit lane and onto this incredible circuit, looking to set the fastest time overall. Pole position so far has gone to Hugh Barter in Paul Ricard and Nano Lopez in Mugello. It's been a bit of a three-way battle for wins as we stand at the moment in the Formula Cup. It's been Hugh Barter, Nano Lopez and Dylan Estra who have been pretty much leading the way for the entirety of the season so far. Round 3 at Portimão, and one of my favourite tracks, that has to be said. And today it is looking absolutely stunning out there. A bit of a lock up there, someone gone wide, not looking particularly good there. Looks like it could be one of the Winfield racing cars, could be Craig McClatchy, yes it is, who's had a few issues already throughout the season, and unfortunately locking up just there as well. Retired in Mugello, and he withdrew from the final race after a crash, so tricky conditions as you can see already out there with these Hoosier tyres, but they are all-weather tyres, apart from obviously if it gets a bit wet out there. Not quite all weather, but most weathers are rain, so it's not like they need to come in and change them or anything. But if it does rain, which I don't think we're going to have any issues of this weekend, looks like it's going to stay pretty dry out there. So setting the fastest first sector at the moment is Laurent Vutic, as the cars just start to find their way around this tricky circuit, and we'll start to see faster times start tumbling in shortly. So we will be showing obviously the 3 races for these cars throughout the whole weekend. We've got an action-packed weekend here in Portimão with plenty going on. Sunday though is the 6 hours race for the European Endurance prototypes. So if you're looking forward to watching that, which I know we will be, that gets underway on Sunday at around 10:30 in the morning. So do make sure you join us for that. But before that, we've got plenty more racing to come, including our first race of the weekend, which will be these guys, the Hoosier Formula Cup guys, who are going to be out for around 6:45 this evening. But for now, all eyes on the fastest laps coming in, which is at the moment Nano Lopez for TS Corsa has set a fastest time of a 1:44.457, so 1:44.4. Only one at the moment trying to beat him is Hugh Barter from Winfield Racing, but at the moment he is 0.8 off that speed. Aaron Ferrazzano, another one to be watching out for this weekend for Winfield Racing. It is indeed all the rookies at the moment sitting at the top, and it's been a really interesting battle for all these guys. This is Solian Amrouche, who joined Formula Cup for this season, and so far sitting 5th in the rookie standings with a couple of issues out there for a few races, but she has had a solid point scoring debut, has been in the points all but one race, and currently sits at the moment 6th in the championship. She is currently though at the moment trying to set the fastest lap out there. She is currently down in 7th, and she is 2 personal bests. Let's see what she can do in the 3rd sector and see if she can better 6th. She's just dropped down to 7th now, actually. Still leading the way then is Nano Lopez for TS Corsa, Matteo Valente for Artline Virage, 2nd at the moment, 0.2 off Nano Lopez's time of 1:43, and as I say that, Hugh Barter actually goes fastest with 2 blistering sectors, first and second sector. Down in the third sector, however, with a 1:43.2. And he splits them by over half a second from Nano Lopez in second place for TS Corsa. Aaron Ferrazzano in third for Winfield Racing. At the moment, it's Matteo Valente in fourth. Track limits already tumbling in to be told that they can't go across certain parts of the track here. And this is car number 2, with the warning flag at turn 5. Car number 2 is Walter Rijkaard, our gentleman driver, who has been with the championship for quite a while now. So Hugh Barter then leading the way with just over 8 minutes left on the clock. And can anyone beat the Australian's time of a 1:43.2? 6/10 behind is Nano Lopez for TS Corsa. Now, as I said, Hugh Barter has been setting blistering times in general in this championship and has picked up already 2 pole positions at Paul Ricard. And at the moment is leading the way in the championship with 156 points from Nano Lopez, the guy that's trying to beat him to pole position, who's currently in second place at the moment, 6/10 off. In second place, and Dylan Estra in third. Dylan Estra struggling at the moment, actually. Down in 7th is Dylan Estra, not usually where we see him. So in the front there, Nano Lopez, car number 24. And once again, Hugh Barter has set a faster lap than his previous lap by a 10th. He's now nearly a second ahead of the field with a 1:42.7. Impressive performances again from the Australian out there, Hugh Barter, for Winfield Racing. Nano Lopez just can't find any time out there, and someone else that has found a bit of time but not enough to put himself on the front row is Dylan Estra for Formula Motorsport, who set the 4th fastest time, but he's a 1.5 seconds off that fastest lap from Hugh Barter. Track limits once again, car number 24 being told about that. That's Nano Lopez for TS Corsa, the car that we're following just in front of this one, which is Hugh Barter. And it looks like Hugh might be on a fast lap here because he's just set the fastest first sector. So is he going to better his time already of a 1:42.7? We shall see. First sector completed. He's down in the second sector. So probably because he got into a bit of traffic actually with Nano Lopez there, who slightly got in his way as he tried to get past him. Nano Lopez not on a blistering lap at the moment, down in both sectors. Interesting to see if Hugh Barter has backed off a little bit for the final sector. He's already on pole position, so he's got no massive reason to better that time, apart from pride, really. He's currently nearly a second faster than the entire field out there. So impressive performance from the Australian Hugh Barter, who has a lot of experience in racing. He raced in the 2023 FIA Formula 3 Championship for Campos Racing, and these two seem to forget that it's qualifying, not a race. Car number 58 then is disappeared from my screen, and Winfield Racing. Oh, that's not what you want to do. That's going to put a lot of muck and gravel on your tyres. Aaron Ferrazzano was doing that. My apologies. Suddenly couldn't find my entry list, and Aaron Ferrazzano, who's currently sitting third. But it is his first season here in the Hoosier Formula Cup, so still learning a lot. This is Walter Rijkaard then, currently at the moment down in 8th, as we see a replay here of Aaron Ferrazzano. Whoa, he went quite airborne actually there. That will give him a little bit of a bad back by the end of the day. Those cars aren't built really to go across the curbs like that, so he'll definitely have felt that one. And I wonder if he's going to come into the pit lane now. I doubt there'll be any sort of floor damage, but they might want to check it over. Car 33 has been given warning flags, and the lap's been deleted, first infringement. And that is Thierry Malon for Lamo Racing. Less than 5 minutes left on the clock then. It's Hugh Barter still leading the way for Winfield Racing. In the Rookie Championship, Nano Lopez in second. He has not managed to better any time out there at the moment. He's on 2 personal bests actually in the first and second sector, but not fastest overall. That's Solin and Rouge there having a bit of a spin. Gets going again, but that will compromise whatever lap she was on. Frédéric Boileau then. He is currently at the moment down in 10th, 4 seconds off the pace. So the lap I was just talking about for Nano Lopez then, for TS Corsa, he took a 10th off Hugh Barter's lap, but unfortunately still nowhere near able to touch him as it stands. And currently is trying to find 8/10 out there, which is a lot of time to find on a track like this. But as the tyres get a bit warmer, they might find a bit more extra time with just 3 minutes left on the clock. But the purple sectors are starting to fall away a little bit now. And it looks like Hugh Barter may have done this. Gilles de Pierre then. A bit of a twitch there from Gilles de Pierre. But it looks like it's Hugh Barter's pole position here in the Hoosier Formula Cup. And it doesn't look like anyone can beat that time of 1:42.7. So as I was saying, Hugh Barter then is, he's joined us from Formula 3. He previously competed in both Spanish F4 and the French F4 Championship as well, finishing runner-up in the French F4 in 2021 and 22 as well as in the 2022 Formula 4 Spanish Championship. Taking part in the Indian Racing League and F4 Indian Championship, so he's been quite busy out there and is indeed pretty experienced at just age 19, born in Japan, but races under the Australian flag. So here again is Frédéric Boileau, just dropped out of the top 10 at the moment and down in 11th. He has set a personal best in the first sector. Down in the second sector though is Gilles de Pierre. And as he crosses the line shortly, down in 9th at the moment. Actually on a pretty slow lap after all that, and he remains as it stands in 9th. So Laurent Vutic here in the gentleman category for Formula Motorsport. He is currently down in 5th. He's retired twice this season, but has picked up 2 class wins. So currently, as I say, sits 5th in the championship for the gentleman driver standings. On 90 points, leading the gentleman at the moment is current champion Frédéric Boileau and Alain Boucher in 2nd, Walter Rijkaard in 3rd, Gilles de Pierre sitting 4th. Quite close in that championship, 120 points first, 116 points for 2nd. And it's Laurent Vutic at the moment trying to better his time, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to better the time from Hugh Barter. It looks like it will be the Australian that takes pole position here in Portimão for race 1. Less than 40 seconds left on the clock, and Nano Lopez has actually managed to set a better time, and now only just over 6/10 behind Hugh Barter. Aaron Ferrazzano now sitting 8/10 behind as well. Dylan Estra is an interesting one at this point. 1.5 seconds behind the top 3, which is an interesting place for him to be at the moment. Car 33 in the pit lane at the moment, and that is Thierry Mallon for Lamo Racing. Checker flag then is out, and it doesn't look like, well, actually Hugh Barter has just set the fastest first sector. So is he going to better his time? Is he not happy with just being 6/10 off? Is he on another fast lap? Down in the second sector. So he might have backed off here knowing he's got pole position, but he was all ready and fired up to put in another fast lap to see if Nano Lopez was going to do it. But I don't think at this point Nano Lopez will. Let's see what the final couple of laps prove to us. Matteo Valente has taken the checkered flag, so down in 5th at the moment. But Cubata, importantly, still out there at the moment looking for pole position. And it looks like he's going to take his 3rd pole position of the championship. Thierry Malholm then in the pit lane still, but would have been good to see Cubata across the line, but he's now in the pit lane and it looks like he's taken pole position ahead of the first race, which gets underway this afternoon. Cubata then for Winfield Racing with a 1:42.7, nearly 6/10 faster than everyone else up and down that grid. Nalo Lopez in 2nd for TS Corsa. Aaron Ferrazzano then 3rd on the grid. Dylan Estra is one they're going to have to watch out for, starting 4th on the grid. Matteo Valente in 5th, Solian Anrouche 6th, Laurent Vutic is going to start 7th, Craig McClatchy in 8th, Walter Rijkaard 9th, and Gilles Depierre 10th. Frederic Boileau just out of the top 10 in 11th, Alain Boucher in 12th, and that there is Frederic Boileau leading the championship at the moment in the gentlemen, and he will start down in 11th. So we will have another qualifying session. No time to rest for these guys. So the way qualifying works for the Hoosier Formula Cup, the starting grid for each race is determined by these 2 15-minute qualifying sessions, Q1 and Q2. The results of Q1 determine the grid for race 1. That's the one that's happening this afternoon. And the results of Q2, they will determine who starts from the front of the grid for race 2. Now, race 2 gets underway tomorrow morning at around 11:50 local time. And the rest of the grids are based on the results from the race that we've just had. 3 races throughout the championship. And we will have 1 race this afternoon and 2 races this evening. Saturday, rather. As you can see, very warm out there for the drivers, sitting in these very hot tin boxes, basically. And imagine just standing there, walking from here to the commentary boxes, warm enough. And they've got no aircon, so they've got the umbrellas out to try and give a little bit of respite to the drivers. And we will get the second part of our qualifying session underway in a couple of moments' time. So we've got a big entry list for the Hoosier Formula Cup, and we have all season actually, which has been really wonderful to see. It's a feeder series and also a series for gentlemen drivers to get involved in. We've got 16 cars on the grid for this round, and so far we've had quite big grids for the Formula Cup, which has been excellent to see because it's some of the best racing we have on the package is the Hoosier Formula Cup. Some young talents that are coming through. We saw the 2024 champion Enzo Riche, who now races on the same package, but now races for the endurance prototypes. And he's a very busy boy over weekends, actually, and a very impressive racing driver. Not had the greatest luck out there. Retired from Mugello, and twice retired in both seasons, but championships. But wasn't his fault. He wasn't behind the wheel at the time. So disappointing for Enzo Richer, I'm sure. Looking for a better weekend this time round. He always says whenever he sees me in the pit lane, he always knows something's gone wrong. And he wasn't wrong in Mugello, unfortunately. He had a pretty shocking time out there. Anyway, 15 minutes then on the clock starts again. And it will be another chance for another driver to take pole position. You'll be hard to see if anyone could beat Hugh Barter's time last time out, because he seemed to be on blistering times, basically. But they'll all go out and get a feel for the track again, and then we'll start seeing the purple times come flying in once again from these drivers. So Nano Lopez, another driver to be watching out for in the Hoosier Formula Cup. We've got so far in the 2 rounds that we've had and the 6 races we've had, he's had 2 wins, 2 second places and 2 thirds. Hugh Barter, who's leading the way, has had 4 wins and second place and a third place. And Dylan Estra, who's not quite found his feet yet to battle it up with these 2 at the front, 2 second places, 2 thirds and a fourth. So only once being off the podium, and the person that was on the podium when Dylan Estra was not was Aaron Ferrazzano, who again has had quite a solid start to the season on debut, and Matteo Valente as well. So fastest laps coming in already, but I would suspect at this point it's just due to being out on track first. So, oh, Solian Amrouche there has had a bit of a spin. Where is she? It looks like she's at turn 14 in the 3rd sector. She's just had a bit of a spin there. And Greens gets going again, but that's her 2nd spin of qualifying. Get going again and get underway. Fastest times coming in at the moment then. Yellow's in turn 5 now. Who else has had a spin out there? 2nd sector, turn 5. Who has had the spin at the hairpin? We may have a look in a minute. At the moment we're following Walter Rijkaard. And if I can have a look on our graphic, it says green at turn 5. Ooh, big lock up there for Walter Rijkaard, who is currently coming into the left-hander of turn 13. Would turn 14 and come around the final corner to 15, and they will lock up again there as he makes his way to the start-finish straight round the long twist of turn 15 and back down the start-finish straight shortly. So Walter Rijkaard's time then here of a, well, he provisionally was 2nd, but then he's dropped down now obviously to 5th as Laurent Vucic has set the fastest time of 1:45.5. And Solian Amrouche again having a spin, and this time at 2nd sector, I believe, and couldn't quite see what corner that was. Looking at a different screen, I think. Well, either way, she had a spin. So fastest time then coming in for Aaron Ferrazzano, and currently here 10th behind is Hugh Barter. Solian Amrouche losing the rear and spinning round, and a big lock up to try and correct it, but unfortunately nothing was going to correct that, I'm afraid. So Aaron Ferrazzano then, fastest time, he's set the fastest 1st sector as well. Hugh Barter at the moment yet to set a time in this lap, so he must be out on his first, not crossed the line for the first sector yet. Lauren Vutic in third, fourth is Frederick Boileau, fifth is Alain Boucher. Dylan Estra down in sixth. Be interested to see what's going on with Dylan Estra this weekend. Car number 23 then, which is Dylan Estra, who I was just talking about, looking to set a faster time than his qualifying a moment ago, where he finished fourth across the line and will start fourth on the grid. The first race this afternoon. Hugh Barter is on pole position. But let's see who's on pole position for the second race of the season, still of the weekend rather. So Aaron Ferrazzano then down in his final sector and sets a 1:44.27, but Hugh Barter then sets a quick time of a 1:42.2, but it's Nano Lopez who puts himself to the top of the standings with a 1:43.5. So he's pulled out quite a bit of a lead there, has Nano Lopez on Hugh Barter, 6/10. Ferrazzano then currently in second with Matteo Valente down in third. Hugh Barter then dropped to fourth as it stands, and he's only set a personal best on this lap on the first sector. Let's see what he can do as he comes past the second sector. At the moment Nano Lopez sets a fastest first sector on this lap. We're still following at the moment Gilles de Pierre. So Nano Lopez then down in the second sector, see what he can do in the third sector as it stands. Aaron Ferrazzano then puts himself to the top of the, immediately leapfrogged by Hugh Barter, who sets a 1:42.9. So as I said, let's see what his final sector's like. Well, it was green, purple, and he was down in the final sector, but still 2/10 at the moment faster than Aaron Ferrazzano. Down then in third is Nano Lopez, 6/10 behind, and Dylan Estra nearly a second behind in fourth. This is Nano Lopez we're following at the moment, looking to get pole position out there. At the moment, Aaron Ferrazzano is fastest in the first sector. So we're still following here then Nano Lopez, but TS Corsa set a personal best in the first sector, but it's Hugh Barter really that is setting blistering times out there for Winfield Racing. Car number 22 has set the fastest first sector, down in the second sector, but currently at the moment 2/10 quicker than the rest of the field, not quite as dominating as he was in the first qualifying session, where he was half a second quicker than the rest of the field, and at one point a second quicker. Aaron Ferrazzano seems to be catching a lot of people out that second sector at the moment. Oh, bit of correction there. You heard the wheel spin from Nano Lopez, so he'll abort this lap because he was 2 personal bests in sector 1 and sector 2, but that will cost him in sector 3. Let's see what he crosses the line to do. Was the rest good enough to take him higher? I doubt it at this point, no. Down in the final sector remains third for TS Corsa. Fastest lap again from Hugh Barter, car number 22. And he's pulled a 10th out of his fastest time previously, over 1:42.6. And again, he's on another fast lap. He sets the fastest first sector again, car number 22. So let's see a replay here, probably of Nano Lopez losing it. And again, just loses the rear end, goes across the bumpy stuff, and catches it with a bit of style, but unfortunately would have lost a lot of time. And once again, they're making a mistake. So messy lap from Nano Lopez, that one. And he remains down in third. Hugh Barter then, fastest in the first sector, down in the second sector once again. I don't know if he's struggling with that second sector. Dylan Estra then, still nowhere really at the moment. Comfortable fourth, which is where he qualified for this afternoon's race as well. So it'd be interesting to see if we could speak to Dylan Estra and see what's been going on, maybe why he's off the pace this weekend. Usually we see him up at the front with Hugh Barter and Nano Lopez, but it seems to be Aaron Ferrazzano who is taking his spot for this weekend, currently second at the moment, 3/10 behind Hugh Barter's fastest time of a 1:42.6, and behind that is Nano Lopez, who's nearly a second behind. 3 minutes left on the clock then. I would be surprised if we saw any more fastest laps come in at this point. Alain Boucher then for Lamo Racing in the gentleman category, who has a spin. As you can see, that is turn 5 again, which is catching a lot of people out, which is the hairpin, of course. And gets it going again, does Alain Boucher. But will have lost time on that lap. And of course, at this point, turn 5, he probably won't have time to get back and set another fastest time, and he would have probably put a bit of a few flat spots into those tyres also. So let's have a look at the replay then. Into turn 5, the left-hander of the hairpin loses the rear end, spins it round. Easily done. So 2 minutes left on the clock. We're still watching here Alain Boucher, who, like I said, is racing in the gentleman category at the moment. And second at the moment from Frederic Boileau, who's leading the way. By just 4 points, though. Pretty tight at the moment in the gentleman category. Frederic Boileau on 120 points and Alain Boucher on 116. Walter Rijkaard on 115, so just a point behind. So very close to the top 3 in the gentleman category as it stands at the moment. Alain Boucher then crosses the line. Soleil Amrouche, who's, I'm afraid to say, has been a bit in the walls, is going a bit slow there, so not sure if she had another issue out there. And she is currently down in 7th, but she seems to be going pretty slowly. Hopefully just cool down lap. But we'll see if she dives into the pit lane, which she does, so could suggest there's a bit of an issue there. Didn't see anything happening, but you don't often see them moving that slowly. So Soleil Amrouche not going to set any more fastest times than 7th at the moment. Hugh Barter then setting a middle sector that is fastest overall down in the first sector. But as it stands, you'd think that at the moment Hugh Barter is taking his second pole position. Yellow flags at turn 8. Which could be anyone really. Hugh Barter then. Hugh Barter then taking his second pole position then of the weekend. He will set the pace once again at the front for the second race, which is getting underway tomorrow. He actually sets another fastest lap on that final lap and pulls out nearly 4 tenths on Aaron Ferrazzano. Let's see what Aaron Ferrazzano can do from here. He's down in the first set. No, not at all. So second place will be Aaron Ferrazzano. Nano Lopez in third, crossing the line. The fourth on the grid is Dylan Estra for Formula Motorsport. Matteo Valente is fifth. Laurent Vucic will start sixth. Seventh, then Solian Amrouche. This here is Nano Lopez, who will start third on the grid. Craig McClatchy, good qualifying session from him for Winfield Racing in 8th. Gilles de Pierre in 9th. Frederick Barlow then leading the way in the gentleman category. In the championship, will have to start behind his championship contenders. Down in 10th, 11th rather, and Walter Reichelt in 12th. Thierry Malholm in 13th. Philip Darrick in 14th, and Frederick Morian in 50th. Well, actually non-classified, so I wonder if Frederick is here. He's put no laps in, and I actually didn't see if he was out for the first practice session, qualifying session. So I'll have to have a look at that, see if he's had an issue or whether it's Gilles de Pierre, unfortunately, there in the gravel. Not really where he wants to be at this time. Let's see exactly where he is. He's at turn 10. And that could be why the yellow flags were out in sector 2. Overall classification then, Hugh Barter on pole position for the second race and taking pole position for the first race too. Aaron Ferrazzano second, Nano Lopez in third, Dylan Estra fourth, Matteo Valente fifth, Laurent Vucic sixth, Solian Amrouche seventh, and Craig McClatchy eighth. Gilles de Pierre 9th, 10th Boileau, 11th Boucher, Reichardt, Thierry Malholm, and Philip Darrick in 14th. So do make sure you join us for the race, which gets underway this afternoon. And we will watch these guys in action. So do make sure you join us for that. The race gets underway at around 6:45 local time.
Être un bon traiteur, c'est être intransigeant sur la qualité. On ne fait du bon qu'avec le meilleur. C'est être impitoyable sur les recettes. Quand c'est bon, il n'y a rien à ajouter, rien à enlever. C'est être irréprochable sur le goût. Il faut prendre du plaisir pour en donner. Voilà, pour être un bon traiteur, il faut être intraitable.
Parfaitement intraitable.
Qualifying for the Kennel GT Endurance Cup about to get underway. 3 sessions to set the grid for tomorrow's 4-hour encounter. The average of the 3 sessions will set the grid, so that will give an opportunity for all drivers to go through and put some laps in, with the exception, actually, of the number 11 Racing Technology Porsche, which has 4 drivers in its lineup for this weekend, but nonetheless 3 of them at the very least get a chance to put some laps in session. A couple of 2-driver crews as well still for this weekend, so a little bit of housekeeping. No Reggie Rigo de Seb this weekend in the number 17 RR Racing by Racetivity Porsche Cup car. There's also a change to the number 18 Porsche Cup car from drive-in, so Shea Harpal now joined by Jules Simkovic. A few changes in the Vortex lineup, as we're somewhat used to seeing the rotation of drivers in the